So I first became involved with DCF because of my daughter. They have to become involved in any case like that. And, that obviously put us through a tough time. And then there were a few small incidents after that where they became a little bit more involved in our life. And it led to the culmination of a safety plan that we didn't think was that fair for us. Um, and in one instance, we had broken that safety plan, and they had taken my son into care and protection. When I first became involved with DCF, I felt like I was a criminal, like I had done something wrong, and that was the farthest from the case. So my thought process and the steps I took when I got involved with DCF were, I need to get rid of this and take care of this immediately. It wasn't something that was expected or I never thought would happen. So I was prepared to do whatever it took to end it. So the steps we took to protect ourselves and to protect my children's legal rights is we hired Attorney Seaver. When we were looking for an attorney to represent us in our case with the DCF, we wanted somebody that was going to guide us through the process and fight for our rights and the children's rights in the hardest possible fashion they could, and come to closure as quickly as possible. Yeah, when we were looking for an attorney, we did note that Attorney Seaver had over 500 five-star reviews, and that played a big role in our decision to hire Attorney Seaver. So the things that attracted me to Attorney Seaver were more or less the reviews that we had read and the first conversations we've had. They probably made us feel the most comfortable of anybody we'd spoken to. The factor of the cost of what the defense had cost us really didn't play a role in our decision, because this is the most important thing in our lives, are our children, and what was happening is something that had never happened to us. So, thinking of hiring someone that might have been, less expensive and less, you know, less reviewed and so forth didn't even enter my mind. It was something that we're going for the best and we're going to go for the gut and we're going to win this case. We did come to closure in the most favorable light, as we could have expected. Attorney Seaver guided us through the process and, told us what to expect at each step and, knew when to fight and knew when to play the game as it needed to be to get to the favorable outcome for us. Yeah, so Attorney Seaver presented us with a plan early on, and we tweaked the plan as we went, and the case moved on. But to be able to follow that and have a guide and a map as to what we needed to do as a family to bring this case to closure was, irreplaceable, and just the one of the things that got us to closure as soon as possible. As it was, eyes open. This is what we need to do. Focus and get it done. One of the best factors in hiring Attorney Seaver was the fact that I could call his cell phone anytime, day or night, weekend, weekday. And if he didn't answer, he'd get back to me within minutes. He would call to check in with me at least every couple days, even on Sundays. And I think that's so important when you're going through this and not knowing what's happening, is to have somebody that's reachable, to be able to ask questions and make you feel a little bit more at ease in the situation. Yep. So Attorney Seaver was very good with the DCF people, especially their attorney. They got on a good level, a good relationship, and I think that helped bring the case to closure. There were not any surprises for our case, as we were kind of guided through the process by Attorney Seaver. If any of my family or friends were involved in what we have been through, I would tell them to call Attorney Seaver. When I think of the law officer of Kevin Seaver, it's definitely winning. It's just winner. I would definitely rate Attorney Seaver a 10, being the best for getting us through this. And I know it wasn't easy, and just the guidance and the advice going through the whole process. So when we first got involved with DCF, it was an embarrassing kind of, awful feeling inside, up to the process of today when we found out that the case was dismissed. It's just elation and joy. Just glad that it's over with. Attorney Seaver over delivered for us. We definitely got everything we needed. I did not have to go out and get one document. Anything that was needed, releases, court documents, were all provided. by either Attorney Seaver or his assistant, who was great. Even spoke to my parents, who were a little, leery of what was going on, and just kind of wanted to hear from somebody else that we were moving forward, which is incredible to speak not only to the client but to his family as well. So that for that, reason, I definitely would recommend 100% Attorney Seaver.